Hi, I'm Vince, and welcome to our channel. Today's video is going to be about hot wiring the minivan passenger window, power window. First of all, I want to say a disclaimer. I'm not an electrician, and if you'd read the comments, you'd think I was an engineer. No, neither. I'm a tinkerer, a fixer. Since I was a child, I have repaired and fixed things. So that's my experience. On this door, if you own a Dodge Caravan, you won't have to take your door panel off because I'm going to show you where this wire is. But if you have any other vehicle and you want to learn how to hot wire your door, I'm going to show you the process I did to find out how to hot wire the window. You will have to purchase some sort of a meter. Harbor Freight sells any cheap meter will work. One of the settings on the meter is it shows two. It's acting like it's dead. Uh-oh. It is dead. Okay, problem averted. You can get these at Harbor Freight. One of the settings, which it shows two little, it looks almost like a horseshoe. And like I said, I'm not an electrician, but I know that this is a continuity tester, which means that when you touch these two together, it gives you a sound. So you can trace a wire. If you have one end of the wire, which we're trying to figure out where, well, actually I'm doing this backwards. First thing we need to test is which wire is the hot wire when you turn the ignition on in the van. So what you do is, and I know for a fact that this red one here is the one. What you do is you put your red terminal in there, you ground your other terminal somewhere, anything grounded on the car, and you should get, when you turn the ignition of the car on, you'll get 12 volts. That means you found your hot wire. Because this plug is in a plastic panel, it has to have a ground wire also. So then with the ground wire, now you're testing for continuity. You put it on ground. You test, in this particular case, it's this one right here, I know for sure. You put one terminal on that, you ground it to the vehicle somewhere and turn the key on. When the key is on, it should ring. You should get the signal. This is how you trace it. This is how you just determine, which wire is the hot wire and which wire, because those are the only two wires we care about. The feed hot wire that is actually the hot wire from the battery, the ground wire. Those are the only two we need to worry about. So once you learn which ones those are, now you want to trace those and find out where do they go in the car. So in this case, I can see where the wiring, I don't know if you can see it there, it runs down and into the body of the car. And then if I pull this panel off right here, it's just a plastic panel. You can again see the wires coming in here. And then they're running down, they're running across. There's on the Caravan, there's a plastic guard that's guarding the wires, protecting the wires. The only way it's hooked on is there's a little plastic nut here, and then there's another one exactly like that at the front up there. Then there's two metal screws that come out. I've pre-taken this apart. I've already done it. And then this plastic piece basically lifts out. If you can get it off the studs. And then when you take that out, it exposes the wire now that comes from the door all the way through, and it runs along here. I've already spliced it. The red wire that you saw up there at the plug is right here. And the brown, I guess, is it brown, Tammy? This one here?
I call it orange.
Orange. She calls it orange. I'm partially colorblind. So it's the ground wire, and what I've simply done is just hooked, I cut both of those wires. Make sure that you have the ignition off when you do this. That way there's no power running through them. And I capped the ends. This is the end that's going toward the ignition of the car. So when you turn the key on, this would be your hot, and this would be your ground. By simply just protecting them so that they're not going to short out on anything is good enough. The ground wire comes over, and then I've drilled a little hole into the floor and put a way to ground it to the body. I cleaned the paint off to make sure it's a good ground. And then in my case, I'm using the house battery of the back of the van to run this window. In most cases, I would think you'd want to bring a hot from somewhere under the dash that's something that on the car, like your cigarette lighter. I would try to feed it from somewhere like that. That way this window is always feeding off the car itself. And so now we're going to plug the window in just to test it. And simply plug it in right there. It's snapped in. And now you can show the switch. You want to show the switch, or you just want to watch the window go up and down? And the key is not in the ignition. It is in the ignition, but it's not turned on. So we have now made this window live all the time. So when you're camping and you don't want to reach across, this is just another alternative. And like I said, I'm not an electrician. Do this at your own risk. I don't want to tell somebody to do something they're not capable of, but you'd be surprised what you could do. This is simple. So if you want to try this, give it a shot. Thanks for watching.